Welcome to Solutions Studio. This is a free series on C programming language. If you like these videos, please subscribe to follow along with this series. Also, please like and leave a comment and share the video to help spread this series. Hello and welcome to this episode, and in this episode we would like to have an overview of the comparison functions of string handling library in C programming language. So basically the functions that we want to discuss about, these functions are used to compare two strings and return the result about comparing two strings. So as you can see in here, we have this function string comparison. It will take one string and it will take another string, and as you can see, these strings are given to this function as constant variables, so no changes will be made to these strings. And the string comparison function compares the string 1 with the string 2, as these s1 and s2 are given as arguments to this function. And this function returns a 0, less than 0 or greater than 0 if s1 is equal to, less than or greater than s2 respectively. Now we also have a string in comparison function, which is basically similar to string comparison function, but the only difference is that we specify the number of characters that we want to compare. So this function compares up to n characters of string s1 with string s2. The function returns a 0, less than 0 or greater than 0 if s1 is equal to, less than or greater than s2 respectively. And that's it for this episode. Stay tuned as we discuss each one of these functions in more details in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode, and in this episode we are going to have a few examples of string comparison functions, and specifically the string comparison and string in comparison functions. Now here, as you can see, we have defined three strings: s1 Happy New Year, s2 also Happy New Year, and s3 as holidays. First we want to print all of these strings on the screen, then we want to compare these strings and return the values and print it on the screen. And also we want to do the same thing using the string in comparison function at this time and print the results on the screen. Let's go and run this program so you can see the results. And as you can see in here, s1, s2 and s3, first we want to compare s1 with s2. As you can see, both of these strings are basically the same, so that's why the comparison equals to 0. In the second comparison, we have compared s1 with s3, and as you can see, s1 is larger than s3, and that's why we have a positive 1 result. And in here we have tried to compare s3 with s1. That means that s3 is less than s1, and that's why we have a negative value. We also have the string in comparison function in here. s1 with s3 are being compared, and only 6 characters of each string. And as you can see, the result is the same, because you can see that here up to 6 character we have happy, and also here in s3 we have up to 6 characters happy. Now after a 6th character, s1 is different and s3 is different. And now that we have tried to compare these two strings, we have the positive result and we have the negative result. The positive result means that s1 is greater than s3, and in here the negative value means that s1 is less than s3. Stay tuned as we discuss what does it mean to have these results, positive and negative, and what does it mean to compare two strings and to have the less than and greater than comparisons between strings, and how these comparisons work. So see you in the next episode. Hello and welcome to this episode, and in this episode we would like to see what does it mean to compare one string with another string, and what does the results that are returned by these functions and integer values, the meaning of those results. So let's go and run this program. And as you can see in this program that we have tried to compare two strings, S1 and S2. Because S1 and S2 are basically two same strings, the result has become 0. That means that these two strings are basically the same to each other and there's no difference to these values. However, when we are trying to compare the string S1 with S3, you can see that S1 has won the battle and S1 is larger than S3, and that is defined by this positive 1 integer that has been returned by this function. Why S1 is greater than S3? Each of these characters or letters that you can see in these strings, they have a numeric value inside of computer. And these numeric values determine whether a character is larger or smaller than other character. And as you can see in here, we tried to print the value of h, which is 72, and the value of n, which is 78. And that's why, because S1 starts with n, which is larger than h, which has the value of 72, that's why here S1 is greater than S3, and we have got a positive 1 integer result. And in here we have tried to put S3 first and secondly S1, and that's why the result has become negative, because S3 is less than S1. And basically the comparison of the strings works using the representation of characters and numeric values. And that's it for this episode. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.